Alright, so I just got back from watching Horizon and American Saga chapter 1. So I believe chapter 2 is coming out sometime mid-August, so we got a bit of a month and a half break between these two chapters here. This is a Western epic directed by Kevin Costner. He is back to his roots, back to what he loves. Kevin Costner loves Western epics. He's made a lot of them. He's acted in a lot of them. Even the show that he's most known for now, Yellowstone, is kind of a modern Western epic drama, I guess. So he really likes this genre. And so this movie is sort of been, I guess, advertised as sort of his, I don't want to say magnum opus, but sort of his big sandbox playground movie where he can do whatever he wants. He's making this big Western epic, multiple storylines, 2 chapters. The first chapter is 3 hours long. Who knows how long the second chapter will be? All this stuff. So I, like Westerns. I think they're pretty neat. It's not my favorite genre, but I do like how unique they are. There's a certain vibe that Westerns get that, not many other movies can give you, besides maybe if you do a Western sci-fi or something like that. So I was quite looking forward to this movie, and this movie is definitely a mixed bag, and I can see a lot of people would either lean one way, negative or positive. I lean more positive, but I don't blame people that lean negative. So positives out of the way. The directing by Kevin Costner, I think, is really good. There's a lot of really pretty shots, really good establishing shots, and also really good directing of action scenes that bring out emotion. I thought he did a really good job with that. So the directing is good. The acting, I'm not going to say is absolutely spectacular, but there isn't any necessarily bad acting here. And a few of the child actors could maybe do a little better, but I don't really blame them for that. So the acting is pretty good all around. And a big plus for this movie is that the multiple storylines, there's about 4. There's 3 at first, and then one of them becomes another storyline. So by the end of the movie, there's like 4 storylines going on. And all 4 of them, in my opinion, were pretty interesting. I was really invested in the characters and the story and what was going on, and I wanted to see, the characters that you want to see survive, and I wanted to see the bad guys get their comeuppance, and so I was pretty invested in all 4 storylines. The problem is that there are 4 storylines in this movie, and there's not a whole lot of crossover. So it feels like you're watching different episodes of a TV show, and you're just jumping back and forth between these different things. And because they don't feel super connected, and because this is a movie and not a TV show, when we jump from one storyline to another, around the middle of the movie, I found myself asking a lot of times, okay, who's this person again? What's going on? Or I was wondering to myself, wow, these characters have certainly made a jump in their relationship with each other from the last time we saw them. This happens a couple of times. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, well, I guess time has passed. It would have been nice to see a little bit of in between, to see these characters' relationships with each other grow and evolve over time. But instead, we're just kind of told that they feel this way about each other now, or they interact this way with each other now. And it's not just romantically, it's just relationships in general between lots of characters change and evolve and grow over time, but we don't see that. We just see the result of it a lot of times. And I felt like I was so invested in these storylines that I would have liked to see these moments of, character growth with their relationships, but I didn't, because we got other storylines to explore. So I think this movie, and who knows, maybe once chapter 2 comes out, it will be complete and these criticisms will go away. But I think I am correct in comparing this movie to 2005's King Kong, directed by Peter Jackson, which is another movie that I feel was a little too grand. It's shot for the moon a little too much. It flew too close to the sun. That's what I'm looking for. that movie had a lot of big ideas, and Peter Jackson wanted to do a lot of cool things in that King Kong movie, but it was just too much. It was too much. I love that movie. I think that movie is fantastic, but it's not for everybody. It's too long. There's too much build up to the island. There's a lot happening in this movie. And I feel like this chapter 1, Horizon American Saga, suffers from a lot of the same problems. There's a lot of great ideas here, but it's too much. The movie's too long, there's too many storylines, and because there's too many storylines, we don't get the character development that we could have gotten if we had just focused on one of them. So I don't know what the solution is here. I don't know if you just make it into a TV show or maybe just choose 1 or 2 of the storylines instead of trying to do 4. But whatever it is, that was the biggest issue of the movie for me, and it kept me from absolutely loving it. But I do like it. I vibe with this movie, and I can definitely see myself watching it again, especially if Chapter 2 is good. If Chapter 2 is good, then I think this could be a pretty cool package, but I do acknowledge that it's more of a me thing, and I don't think a lot of other people will feel this way. So yeah, if that interests you, you can go ahead and check out Horizon, an American Saga, Chapter 1, currently in theaters.